All right.
Good afternoon, everyone. And since nobody has cracked the joke about post-lunch sleepiness, I'll do that, and I hope you're all awake. So, coming to the topic, when we talk about ensuring quality in education, the issue is inherently tied to the scalability and accessibility of education. If we had to teach only 4 future engineers, 4 doctors, 4 historians, 4 psychologists, and 4 accountants, we wouldn't be talking about the quality in education, because there will be enough classrooms, enough books and study materials, enough labs and equipments, and enough teachers to teach them at the highest level of quality. But we don't have that luxury. In an increasingly growing and becoming knowledge-based economy, we need to teach not 4 or 400 or 4,000, but 4 million or even billions of students. And in the ever-changing requirements of this fast-moving world, we even need to go ahead and re-educate and retrain a lot of people. So we need increasingly higher number of classrooms, books, study materials, labs and equipments, and good teachers, coming to Dr. Khan's point. Now, it isn't difficult to see which of these is the most difficult to scale. The rest of them can be scaled by putting in more money, and a growing economy will figure out a way of making more money. But what cannot be guaranteed to scale is the human resources, because being a good teacher is not just about qualification, which itself cannot be taken for granted. And it is not just a science, which itself is highly non-trivial. But to top that, there is also a lot of art involved in it. I'm sure all of us remember that one teacher who had made the most unexpected course most exciting for us, and those are the learnings that we will probably never forget in our lifetime. And yet we know that there just aren't enough good teachers for everyone around us. The elite schools and universities in the world boast of high teacher-to-student ratios. But even our most privileged institutes like IITs or IIMs are struggling to hire enough faculty members to fill even their sanctioned quota, forget about trying to increase it. And in all likelihood, other institutes are struggling even more. Now, in an ideal world, we would want many more teachers, many good and great teachers, and I'm going to look the other way around on his question about how to get that. I don't know. But I will look at what is there in the real world, and that is that we are stuck with far fewer of those teachers than we would need for ensuring quality education for all of them. So given this, as a student, how do you access the best teachers? As an educator, how do you reach out to more and more students with your best teachers? And no prizes for guessing. So coming from somebody like me, technology has to come to our assistance. And the term in fashion these days is blended learning. So despite being the fashionable term, it is not without meaning, and its meaning is very simple. That we use a mix of face-to-face time with teachers and computer-mediated learning technologies to get the best of both worlds and enhance learning outcomes for a large number of students. So how is that done? In a variety of ways, and I'll take a few examples from our experience. So consider distance learning, which has been the answer to educational requirements of a lot of people who do not have access to mainstream education because of financial or logistic constraints. Problem, no face time with a qualified teacher. Students are dependent mostly on printed text material for learning. But what Academy of Commerce, which has some of the best commerce faculties, is doing today is that it is delivering live classes over the internet to almost 100 of its centers across the country, and is helping these students with their CA studies. So there are students sitting in these tier 2, tier 3 towns who would never have imagined having access to those kind of teachers, and they are now able to study directly from them. They can use audio, video, and text chat to clarify doubts and interact with the teacher. So that one star teacher who could not have taught more than 40, 50 students in one location is now using technology to teach thousands of students across hundreds of centers, and there is no reason for it to become several times more than that. This is happening using Aurus Networks product called Coursera, by the way. Now let us take another example. IIT students, whom many of us would like to believe some kind of superhumans, they are fairly tortured souls in reality. The pace of teaching is fast, and in a recent survey among computer science students of IIT Kanpur, 64% of them flatly said that they don't understand everything taught in the class most of the time. And many others were probably saving their faces. So now with so many students, it is unlikely that they will be able to get any face time with the professors outside the class. And even if the professors stretch themselves, many students may not be that forthcoming, and not to say that professors need time for their other classes, their research, and their lives. So in the last semester, we deployed what is called a lecture capture solution in one of the classrooms. Again, powered by our product, this is an automated system to record the lectures, upload them to secure servers, and make it accessible to registered students. And they can watch it any time of their choosing later. So now they can catch up on the missed classes, review the lectures which taught difficult concepts, and even audit the courses they are not enrolled in. 84% of the surveyed students agreed that it helped them understanding their subject matter much more. Almost everyone wanted the system to continue in the next semester. Not only has it made the lectures more useful for the students, it is making maximum use of that 1 hour of valuable faculty time. apart from that, it has also created a very useful intellectual property for the institute. These HD quality lectures are delivered at very low bandwidths, and they can be used to offer distance learning programs or even delivered to other colleges and institutes who may not have access to these resources. And I'll finish by discussing one more use case of a very interesting concept called flipped classrooms. In a typical classroom setting, most of the teacher's time goes in lecturing, and for most courses, especially the introductory ones, teachers might be delivering pretty much the same lecture semester after semester, year after year. Still, the valuable face-to-face time goes in that process. The projects, discussions, group activities, they are relegated to the time outside the class where the teacher cannot make any contribution. In a flipped classrooms, these activities will be switched. So students will, for example, watch recorded lectures outside the class, and then they will come to the class, use that time to clarify the doubts. It will be used for like teacher motivated peer interaction, for group activities and projects, etc. So that way, and these are the things that play a lot of role in the learning process. So the role of the teacher then shifts from being a lecturer to a mentor and a coach, and his time is utilized in some of the most value-adding activities. So overall, the problem of accessible, scalable quality education is huge. But people like us would like to believe that the possibilities presented by technologies are also endless. So we welcome all of you to our stall to discuss more on some of these concepts and any other questions.